Hello again. We start a new show with a lot of enthusiasm because today our main subject is humor. That's why we've invited two people who work on humor from different perspectives. The amazing Rachel Iriev and hilarious Sergi Cervera.
As Chaplin used to say, a day without laughter is a day wasted. And today in the Weekly Mag we're going to talk to two experienced comedians about humor. Before I recommend you take a look at the following glossary. It contains some descriptions to help you understand the following interview.
The first concept that will appear during the interview is high pitch. If something is high pitch, it means that this style is strident, lofty, and rather intense. The second expression you need to know is laughing fit. When you watch a comic show and you continuously laugh uncontrollably, you have a laughing fit. Now a phrasal verb to pay attention to make up. If you make up something such as a tale, a story, or even an excuse, you invent it. And the last word of today's glossary is uptight. An uptight person is someone who is overly conventional or strict.
Rachel Iriev began her career as a stand-up comedian in Austin, Texas. After a few years, she moved to New York and then to Los Angeles, where she performed on stage as much as she did on TV and in movies as well. In 2004, Rachel moved to Barcelona, where she enjoys a successful career as a writer, comedian and actress. Sergi Cervera was born in Barcelona. He's currently performing a musical called The Trumps in honor of Donald Trump's family. He's recently finished the shooting of a TV movie in Los Angeles, where he also lives and works. Well, Rachel Iriev, Sergi Cervera, welcome to the Weekly Mag.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Rachel, let's start with you. A few months ago, you took your show American Dreams, Stories from the Great Empire, to Sala Bart's.
Yes.
So what kind of stories do you tell in this show?
Well, there's stories that tell the truth about the U.S. We hear a lot of stories about the U.S. because we constantly see their series, we read their news ends up being our news, and it's impossible to avoid it, knowing about the U.S. But a lot of the stuff that we hear about the U.S. are myths, like it's the greatest country in the world, anyone can make it, anyone can be president, which if you look at the president now, it seems true, but generally there's a lot of storytelling that America tells about itself to make itself look good. And my show is about the reality of America. It's comedy and it's drama.
It's a monologue.
It's a monologue, yes. I work on it with my partner, Dr. Erez Gorin. He's a doctor of psychology, and we try to tell a story. America ends up invading all of us in our minds, in our cultures, in our language. We're speaking English right now.
It sounds like a risky business, what you're doing at the moment. The same, it's similar to Sergi's story as well, because Sergi, you're performing in this show, The Trumps, at the Aquitania Theatre in Barcelona.
That's
so
correct.
Tell us about this show.
I think there is a very interesting debate here, because it goes I go the other way around. So there is an American here telling one side of the United States, and there is a non-American here who really loves the United States. I admire the United States, and I believe some of those things, as the United States is a great country, or even so. Well, my own experience is I just got the permits to work over there in an extraordinary visa, they call it, for trying to attract talent for around the world. Those kind of things, that's something very positive. But it's interesting, the non-American guy talking very good about the United States, and the American Californian one telling the other side, which is
That's
both
good.
Yeah, both are very interesting.
It makes sense though, because you're from this culture, and I find people from Barcelona, Catalonia, very intelligent and very fair and tolerant and very rational. So it makes sense that you would see stuff that you admire in the US and say we should have it here. And we probably can. But at the same time, Spain in general, not speaking Catalonia, but Spain, has the 8th best healthcare system in the world.
That's true.
Americans are going to emergency rooms because they don't have doctors. So on a basic human level, standard of living, it's great. America attracts great actors from Polonia, you know,
Thank you.
and it helps you, you know,
From the
live your
show
dreams.
Polonia.
But there's some basic things that America can learn from this culture, especially from Catalonia.
That's true. That's true.
And Rachel, it's interesting because you live in Barcelona, you are an American performing in Spanish, and Sergi, right? We have Sergi, who is Catalan, but when he goes to LA, he performs in English.
In English with this
So-
accent, I would say. But what is also funny is that when I'm in LA and when I audition in LA, half of the times I'm called in a room to audition in Spanish. If it's possible, with accent, not from Spain, from Latin American, Mexican, Colombian. And I moved to the States because I wanted to practice English and I wanted to, you know, so it's just
Can you
fun.
show us this accent? Can you
Which
give
one?
us an example?
Which you want? The
one you
Mexican, the
want.
Colombian, or the Argentine?
One of these that you prefer.
Bueno, yo estuve haciendo durante un tiempo estuve haciendo una obra en argentino y estuve pues, trabajando el personaje en argentino, entonces por ejemplo este es uno en el que me siento bastante cómodo porque está bien, ya viste, está bien fácil y es interesante.
That's excellent,
Pero
Sergi.
también estuve audicionando en colombiano y estuve haciendo pues algunas audiciones para algunos shows en colombiano también.
Well, that's brilliant. What about you,
Go
Rachel?
on and on like that.
So you're talking about this challenge of acting in a language which is not your own.
I never gave myself a choice. I came here because I wanted to immerse myself in the culture, form part of this society. I didn't want to live in this expat bubble, speaking English with my American or new British friends. I immediately started speaking Spanish, which was horrible. Like I had to do
I don't
songs
believe
and wear costumes and distract people from the fact I couldn't really communicate. And then like after about a year, I was able to act in English, in Spanish. And I've never done a comedy show in English here in my life. And I think I'd be really uncomfortable doing it. My Spanish, some press article described it as Español Apache. Well, it's an insult. It's like a very primitive sounding Castellano. But don't you find as a humorist, like your accent helps
There you go. There you
'Cause
go.
people like you more. 'cause
Exactly.
It's
Why?
so cute.
Yeah,
to
you
them.
get people's attention just because you have this accent or just because, the
Yeah.
language
Well,
thing.
I would like to ask you about the differences that you might find between Catalan humor and American
Oh,
humor.
interesting.
So I find the sense of humor of Catalans to be more. It's a reflection of the Catalan culture, which I think is
like calmer,
More,
you mean?
People are calm here. They're not insane like in the U.S. They don't shoot each other in the schools.
Because we don't have the guns.
Like the worst thing is that a bus driver will be cut off by a car, and then they'll be like, "Tu madre," and like, oh, like that's the most violent thing I can see all week. So the humor reflects much more smooth gentleness. So an American comedian coming to Catalonia, it's brutal. It's like violent and it's hard sometimes for people to take. But also, there's people that like it.
Do you agree, Sergi?
I would say about the American sense of humor that it's more diverse. It's more diverse. You can have a very high-pitched comedy as it would be, I don't know, Saturday Night Live, for example, which I love, or even bigger than that. Some TV shows, I don't know, Jim Carrey in the 90s, something.
Seinfeld.
Exactly, Seinfeld. But you also can have shows as The Office, for example, very subtle.
Portlandia.
Other kind of humor. It's diverse. Here we are more stuck in our way to understand how we understand things. So our humor is maybe more British, but it's just like that, and it's always been like that. So
Humor is a reflection of the culture. So this culture is smaller. It's more homogenous.
But
And
we are
in the
more
US
afraid of changes, I would say. So we do the same kind of humor in Catalonia that we used to do, some sort, of course it has changed, but some sort of the same kind of humor that we used to do at the beginning of the 90s, for example, and just like that.
I see. Well, we'll continue to talk about humor with Rachel and Sergi a bit later. Now I need to take a short break, and we leave you with a quote by one of the great English actors, Peter Ustinov, winner of 2 Oscars and author of several excellent novels and storybooks such as Life is an Operetta. Here it is. Here we are again. Today the main issue of our show is humor, and that's why we invited 2 professional comedians, Rachel Arieff and Sergi Cervera. And as usual, we are also accompanied by our special collaborator, Tony Garcia.
Hey, hello, how are
Hey,
you?
Tony.
How are you guys?
Good,
I was
and you?
laughing backstage.
Well, we were waiting for you to have a good laugh, actually. Well, before we start, we go into business. Tell us, what do you think about our previous conversation? What is your opinion about Catalan humor?
Yeah, I was
How would
listening
you
to the
describe
conversation. I think it's very dry. That's the word for Catalan humor. It's like if you think about Joan Capri, which is, you know, for me, one of the best iconic comedians in Catalonia, or Eugenio.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they are really, really dry people. They almost seem depressed. You know, like, "Saben aquell que diu?" And explain
With
the
a serious
things like in a
face.
very dry, you know, they don't laugh of their own jokes. It's kind of a, and I think if you think of Mari Sampere, José Zaza Tornil, even Cassen, they all have this kind of dry character that it thinks, you know, it becomes something universal for Catalan humor, that it's dryness. You know, it's like, this is not funny. Because
And that becomes
you're
funny.
saying that this is not funny, you know. I'm about to explain something that it's not funny.
That's genius.
And that's genius. That makes
then
people
just
laugh.
Who wants to
oh,
watch
yeah.
a comedian who laughs
Yeah,
at their own
yeah.
material?
It's like, no, my friends went to college, my sons, you know, we have money. That doesn't interest anyone. But Catalan is like, you know, prices in the restaurant are insane. It's like, I remember this monologue from Joan Capri. It's all about a restaurant that is very expensive. And at the end, he said to the chef, hug me, because I'm not coming back.
Very funny indeed. So, Tony, what have you brought for us today?
Oh yes, I was doing a little research on humor, and I found this very you know, funny documentary. It's about it's called Lafology, and it's in 1962 in Tanzania, and it's the most incredible laughing epidemics ever registered. It's 30,000 people laughing at the same time. Starts in a school with a kid laughing, and then it's a teacher, the roommates, then it goes out, and and after, you know, like 24 hours, it's like 30,000 people laughing. And there's doctors from Europe that did some tests, you know, blood tests, to see if something were wrong, and nothing was wrong. They were laughing. And I think it's a funny story, and it's true. I mean,
Are you sure it's true?
Yeah, it's true.
Yes? Oh, okay.
So-
it's not something you just made up for us today.
No, I could.
I
but
think you made it up.
I think
I
the same.
could, but I didn't.
I think the same, man.
You promise?
It really happened.
Promise?
Yes, I promise.
Okay.
Can you
Can
prove it?
Google
Can you
Google
just
it.
prove it?
I can prove it. I
well-
can send you the documentary later on, and you can check it out. But you're not going to be here next
Well,
week,
I
so
think I'm going home later and check it
Yes,
out,
please.
because I'm not sure what Tony just
But
said to us. But anyway, let's believe him.
did you have a presence or had something, you know, similar, like a laughing fit or something in your life,
I remember one.
something contagious?
Yeah, well, it goes in the other way around. But I remember once one person that told me that she didn't remember last time that she laughed out loud, uncontrolled. And I thought, like,
That's terrible.
that's terrible.
That's
Yeah.
terrible.
That's terrible. I mean, yeah, that impressed me. Like, yeah.
And you
so
made
you
her
don't
laugh in
laugh.
the end. You didn't make her laugh.
I just laughed off her. I just-
Okay.
No,
Now what?
contagious, something.
Yeah, I've laughed uncontrollably lots of times.
yeah.
Yeah, on my way here actually, and then I ended up walking half the way
Yeah, you
because
might have.
I got thrown off the bus. But you know, when you laugh uncontrollably, you know, it's painful. It hurts. You start to cry,
Exactly.
and
The
it's
stomach is terrible.
that's the best kind
But
of
Rachel,
laughter.
they
You
say
almost
it's very
suffer with it.
healthy, no, to laugh like that. At least this is what Tony, I think,
Yes,
is going
yes,
to
it's very
explain to
healthy.
us. It's
Yeah. I
I
healthy
have some
to
data
laugh.
here. It's true. I know
Good.
now
I'm
you
glad to
don't
know
trust
that.
me,
I'm glad
guys.
to know that too. Yeah. Yeah.
But laughter can improve circulation and the cardiovascular system. That's true.
Here we go
Okay,
again. Everything
that
can do
makes
that.
sense.
It helps you lose weight as well.
Interesting.
It burns a little
you
more
can see.
than a calorie a minute. And you get the same benefits from laughing 100 times a day as from rowing for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
How many times a day, sorry?
100 times a day.
Okay.
I can do it.
Now?
Just,
I can do it. Not
just
now,
now?
not 100 in a row.
Just,
The
But
cameras
I can
are...
do it 100 times a day. It's doable. No?
no, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm not questioning. I'm just looking at you to see.
I could do it. That is it's healthy.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, look at
it's
them,
great.
how healthy they look, no?
Thank you.
I was
Yes,
thinking...
you look very
Thank you.
healthy.
Thank
You,
you. That's a
while,
good
while
compliment.
you're saying, I was thinking about what a great job it is to be a stand-up comic, because your job is to think of funny things, but also to watch other comedians perform, and you're always laughing. But then the drinking and the drugs offsets.
But
the,
it's healthier.
health
It's healthier
benefits.
to laugh or provoke the laughing.
I would say to laugh.
Yeah,
Of course.
If you
Of
provoke
course.
it, there's something wrong with you. Usually, it's
But
mentally
you can get
ill.
paid. You can be well paid.
But you can,
I mean,
Yeah.
you can
you
get
can
paid
make
for
money
making
out of
people
it,
laugh.
which
Exactly.
is also
And
good.
money solves everything, as we know.
It's pretty.
What
It's
else,
pretty
Tony?
interesting. Yeah.
Let's see.
So, this is also true. It's like there are 18 different types of laughter.
18
18.
different types.
18. We're not
Which
going
ones?
to address them all. But I do propose an exercise to get to know better some of you laughter. Let's see.
All right.
How is your kind laughter? The
People-
kind one.
My relatives say that I have a very fake laugh.
Okay,
That's
so-
true. There's nothing like, which is it true? It's a real one, but they
So
say
that-
that sounds fake.
that
I
would
don't
be-
know why.
It
That would be the
does.
kind one? The kind?
That's
kind
one.
one?
And I have a friend that have another one very contagious, that it's like, and he does like that, and it's really contagious. And then you start doing the same kind of laugh because it's even funnier. So the laugh is better.
What about you? What would be with the kind one?
What do you mean the kind one?
The kind one, the one you're in a table and you don't want to, laugh or something.
Like
but,
polite.
But
Oh,
you
like
have
a polite
to.
laugh?
The polite
Ah,
one.
the polite
I
one.
get it.
You could say.
That's extremely polite.
That's really.
That's so polite that that just offended me.
It's
now.
so, I know, it's natural.
It's too polite for me.
Okay.
Okay, let's go
leaving.
for the sarcastic one.
With the sarcastic one. That's all you're gonna get.
Okay, well
and
done.
And the frank one, like the.
I think I just started with that one. Something like
It
that.
makes me laugh. I just did it. I just did mine laughing at it.
Exactly.
Okay, and the
yeah.
repressed
All
one.
of us.
The depressed.
The repressed.
Oh,
Repressed.
repressed. Oh, repressed. Let's go
All my
silent, go
laughs are
silent.
similar.
Maybe you don't have 18 types.
pathological.
Maybe like 5.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Just asking.
I have a laugh deficiency.
We should call a doctor.
That was
Yeah.
an honest laugh.
With all that studies, I always ask myself, who is doing that study?
Yeah, exactly.
Someone who doesn't laugh a lot.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's like,
Probably.
Yeah.
let's investigate this.
Exactly.
People is laughing in very different ways. We have to find out.
We need to know
Yeah, we
why
need to know.
and how.
Yeah.
I
The
think
world.
they're Scandinavians. Because they have so many resources and they're so sophisticated and they get into like the smallest little hair-splitting questions and
They're bored.
yeah,
It's all day at home
but-
because it's cold outside.
Exactly.
Right, but we benefit.
TV is boring.
All services
mankind
paid.
benefits.
I mean,
Exactly.
life quality is huge. There is nothing to struggle with. Then let's investigate people's life.
Yes.
Anyway, laughter nowadays, or in some cases, can become a risky business, as
Oh,
you
right
all
here.
know. And what do you think that laughing and comedy in general can be considered so dangerous especially by authoritarian regimes?
Because quiz question things. Laughing and humor question things. Is a way to question everything. And there are certain people who take themselves extremely serious and danger instead authoritarianism. It always comes with a lack of humor.
Yes.
They always work like that. I mean, the clowns with the kings 500 years ago, they were the only ones to face the king and tell the truth. That's another
Exactly.
thing that
Tell
goes
the
with
truth.
humor. It's the only, well, not the only way, but it's a truthful
But it's-
way to tell the truth.
But it's true, if you make jokes out of something, it's because you don't feel that. Or it's the first step.
That's a good way. It's a way to confront fear. At the same
It's
time.
the
That's
first
true.
way you confront some fear.
That's
If
true.
you're
That's
capable of laughing at something, you know, you don't fear it anymore. Or, you know,
You're
sort
fighting
of.
You're
fear.
irreverent.
Exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
Satire
reverent.
is, you know,
And
it's
by the way,
the weapon.
do you guys go a lot to stand-up comedies in English in Barcelona?
There are not that many
No.
here.
No?
But I've just met someone here that is going to invite me to.
No,
no,
nothing
but you
is-
perform in Spanish, damn it.
No, I don't get out much.
Like an
Well, you
sketch.
just
I
do
only
it, no? You
walk
do
through
it
the
yourself, no? So
I walk through the forest and look at jabalís. I don't want to be around
You
entertainment.
look at. Sorry,
I'm
at
very
what? At,
old.
you look at.
You look
jabalís?
young.
What's
What?
that?
What's that?
I can't hear. What?
That was very funny. No, I just didn't understand the word. You say you are looking at.
Jabalís.
Jabalís.
Oh,
Buttocks
you
and
mean
glass.
wild boars?
Yes, you know,
Okay.
I just.
That's what I didn't
Those
understand.
are
That
the-
was
the-
the part I didn't
There's this
understand.
cult of people in Barcelona who have on their cars bumper stickers of not only the burro català, but then like jabalís. I want to be with those people.
Well, I just asked you that because our today's portrait, which is a section of the program, is starred by Donncha Tiernan, an Irish comedian who's made a name for himself on the stand-up comedy scene in Barcelona. Let's find out more about him.